3 breastfeeding challenges I encountered as a working mom and what actually helped me. I know sometimes when you genuinely want to breastfeed your baby and things are not going your way, you become so frustrated and you feel like you're failing your baby. If you're currently having breastfeeding challenges, then this video is for you. Hello there mommies, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and thank you so much to those who continue to support this channel, who are liking and commenting on my videos. I really appreciate you. And if you are seeing this pretty face for the first time, please click the subscribe button and do not forget to like the video. Also comment on the video so that I can engage with you from one mother to another. Now, as a breastfeeding mom, I realize that there is so much that we go through, and if you genuinely want to breastfeed your baby, when things do not go the way you hope or desire, it can easily frustrate you or make you feel like you're failing your baby. When I started breastfeeding my baby, my journey started from the hospital and my milk supply was not coming out. So my gynecologist recommended these certain pills that I had to drink, and she told me that within a few days I will see my supply increasing. But the nurses did recommend that I should not stop latching so that my body can register that it is now time to breastfeed. So I would try my baby, I would try to breastfeed, and she would latch while they gave her formula so that my body would respond. And I don't want to lie, those pills did not waste time. I don't know if it's the pills that helped me or my body just registered that I'm about to breastfeed. Maybe I panicked too early. I could never know. That one, I'm genuinely being honest, I am not sure if it's the pills that helped me. But I also told myself that those pills I'm going to drink until they finish, because she told me once I see milk coming out, I should stop drinking the pills. But when I went home, I was like, no, what if my milk stops? And I was like, I'm gonna drink the pills, I'm gonna finish the course. And that's what I did. So when we got home, I would continue to latch, and she was still on formula for about 2 days. When we were home, on the 3rd day, I saw that my milk was coming out properly, and I started to continue breastfeeding without the formula, and everything was going well. But my plan was, I wanted to start pumping milk because I was on maternity leave and it was gonna take 4 months and I'm gonna go back to work. So I gave birth in July and I was supposed to go back to work in November. So I had planned that when I'm home, I'm going to pump so that I stash a lot of milk for my baby, because I did not want my baby to mix feed even when I went back to work. I just wanted to breastfeed my baby, and that is what I wanted. So even when I take her to daycare, I wanted her to drink my breast milk. I didn't want to mix feed. So everything was going well when I was just breastfeeding until I had to start the pumping. And the first challenge I encountered was I did not know how to pump and when to pump, because I had a electrical breast pump. I will show it just now, the one I was using, and I felt like maybe this breast pump is not effective, because when I would pump, it would be small amounts of milk, and I would worry. I would think, oh my god, it means my milk is running out, only to find that I didn't know how to do it the way that it should work for me and my baby. So how I resolved it was, I started googling, how do I have to pump as a first-time mom if I want to stash milk. And Google was telling me that every time the baby would breastfeed, that is the proper time to pump. But even then, when I pumped like that, it was not working. I felt like the breast pump is failing me because it looks like I have enough milk. So how did I resolve it? I stopped pumping a lot of times and I explored pumping once a day. I would allow my baby to breastfeed, and when she would take a nap, I would then pump. That's when I realized that pumping once is okay. And when I allow her to sleep, because when she was a newborn, she would sleep a whole lot. I mean, she would sleep for hours. I would even go check her and be like, girl, are you still alive? So I would let her breastfeed and she would be taking her nap. Maybe within 2 hours, then I would pump, then I would have enough milk. So that's how I resolved the first problem. The second challenge I encountered was when I went back to work. Now you would think that because I'm now used to the routine of me pumping once a day and being able to stash, when I go back to work, it's going to be simpler. But no, I faced the same challenge I faced when I was at home. I wanted to pump a lot of times because I assumed that now that my baby is at daycare and they're not breastfeeding frequently, I'm gonna have a lot of supply. But that was not the case. Instead, I ended up pumping and the milk would go off because now I'm at work 8 a.m. and I have to leave 4 p.m. Now you would be asking yourself, why would the milk be off? Don't you have a fridge? The fridge that we have at work, it's for people to put their food and warm it when they have to eat during their lunchtime or tea time. Now, it was not hygienic for me to put my baby's milk in that fridge, number one. Number two, what if somebody discards the milk or uses it for their tea? Right? So I had bought a cooler box to stash the milk until I knock off. But now that cooler box was really not working for me, so I don't know if moms will find a cooler box that will work for them, because I don't know how many hours you go to work. But that specific one was not working for me. The thermometer was not working. I got another one, but still the ice would run out. So me pumping frequently was really not working for me as well at work. So I had to go back to pumping once a day, but now I had to pump closer to my knock-off time, because now you can't keep the baby's milk more than 3 hours without being in the refrigerator. So the problem was that, and then my solution was I need to pump closer to my knock-off time so that when I'm about to knock off, I can get home and then stash the milk while it's still fresh and cool. So I don't know what's going to work for you in that scenario, but I believe you can find something that works for you. If you are able to knock off earlier at work, then I think you can do that. But pumping frequently or every 3 hours for me, it was not working. So I had to go back to pumping once again. Before I mention the last challenge, I need to give you a background of when my baby started daycare and when did she start solids. So I went back to work in November, but I had extended my leave. So I went back to work properly late November, and my baby had already turned 4 months. So she actually started daycare properly when she was 5 months. So she went to daycare for a month, and then it was now December holidays. I was with her back at home and I started her solids. So when I took her back to daycare in January, when she was already 6 months, 2 weeks, she had already started solids. I needed to give you that background so that you understand why I was frustrated about this particular problem. So I then ran out of stash, because now I was stashing a lot of milk when I was home, but now that I'm back at work, she's going to daycare. I used to take 5 bags for her at daycare, and I would give instruction that she must drink all the milk, because milk was her only supply. I had not given her any food, not even porridge. She was just drinking my breast milk. And that's how I wanted it. I didn't want anybody to rush me to give my baby food before 6 months. Hey, babies get hungry, babies cry. No. My pediatrician said it's fine to do 6 months until you can start solids, and that's what I wanted to do. I was like, I'm not going to succumb to pressure or listen to anybody. This is my a journey. This is my way of doing things. So she was only having breast milk, and I was taking 5 packs of milk to her daycare. Now that we have started solids, I'm now at home with my baby. I'm able to pump, but I'm not stashing enough because I'm pumping once, and life is getting busier. She's growing, she's starting to sit, and we now on solids. So it was just hectic. Some days I couldn't even pump because she would be so fussy because I had a colic baby. But sometimes I would be so shocked that colic looks like it's still there. 5 months, 6 months, I don't know what would be happening. Some would say she's teething, but I don't see any teeth coming out. So there'll be chaotic days where I can't even pump. So I was out of stash, and now it's time for her to go back to daycare. I don't know what to do, and I'm taking milk, but now I have pressure. I nearly stopped breastfeeding completely and started my baby on formula because I was like, I'm going to be depressed. I can't pump enough. Milk is not enough. I'm only pumping once. Sometimes I can't pump, and sometimes it's just one bag, and sometimes there's no milk at all. Until I realized, no man, my baby has started solids, so I can also introduce water. Even though breast milk was giving an element of water, but I realized now that my baby is on solids, then I should introduce water. That helped me. I stopped stressing about 5 bags of milk, and I would give 2, because even when I took the 5 bags, now that she has started solid, the teachers would tell me she only drank 3 or 2. So I would have 2 that is left at daycare, and then I would have to pump maybe another 2 bags or 3 bags to make it 5. So the 2 bags would stay in their freezer, and I would add on the stash. But me introducing water relieved my stress, and it was okay because when I'm with her, I feed on demand, and when she's at daycare, there's a whole program. There's playtime, there's nap time, and she's eating as well, and there's water. So that's how I resolved it. I stopped giving a lot of supply for daycare, and I only gave 2 bottles and water, and when I'm with her, I would feed on demand. And that's how I resolved it. There were so many things that I went through in my breastfeeding journey, and for me to actually be at peace and settled with the current routine, even as she's now 13 months old, like, it took a lot. And I can understand that as a breastfeeding mom who wants to do it exclusively, it has its own challenges. And I commend moms who do it. I commend even those ones who have done mixed feeding. And I commend even the ones who said, this is too frustrating for me, I'm going to stop, I'm just going to give formula. And however way you have decided to feed your baby, it is okay, because mom, you are doing your best. this is all I got for today. My left breast is always the lowest, and then my right sorry, my right is always the lowest and my left brings more, and normally it gets full and this becomes half. But today I didn't drink a lot of water. I came back home early. Like I said, it's Wednesdays, normally my rest day, and I was just sleeping throughout the day. The last thing I drank was cappuccino, so I haven't drank water at all for today. So it makes sense why it's this slow. But luckily I'm 1 day ahead of pumping, so I have a stash in the freezer, like 2 bags, in case I happen to experience this. So I'm 1 day ahead of pumping, so at least that's a relief. My baby is currently 13 months old and she's still on solids, and I still take 2 bottles for her at the daycare because she's eating solids, playing a lot, eating 5 meals per day and drinking water. So 2 bottles is still enough for now. So we're doing great. Hopefully it keeps and maintains like that. Guys, thank you for watching the video. I wish all of you the best with your little ones, and I commend every mom out there looking after their little ones, whether they are breastfeeding or their kids are on formula. Mom, you are doing great. You are doing great. You are a superwoman. You've given birth and you've created this whole human from scratch. Be kind to yourself. You are doing great. Thank you so much for watching the video, and do not forget to like it and comment. Let me know your journey breastfeeding or on formula. I'd love to engage with you on the comments.